Welcome, guys, to the Houston Business Podcast. My name is James J. And today I have with me Katie Day with Coldwell Banker. And you are the team leader with MoveMeToTX. How are you, Katie?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So I've been watching you from afar, and you actually came across my radar because my coach told me about you. And because I have a podcast, I'm always looking for people to talk to, people that are doing a lot of video specifically, which you guys do.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad. I've been trying to kind of do this for a few weeks now, and I know it's been a little crazy for everybody the last few weeks, but I am excited. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And so we're gonna get into it. So I love to give people context because you obviously I'm assuming you didn't grow up wanting to get into real estate.
I did. No, I'm just kidding. I did.
Don't. Unless your family was in real estate. So I like for people to kind of get some context about what got you into real estate. Yeah. Number one, and kind of a little bit about your background before real estate, because I don't know too many people that grow up and say, I want to be a real estate agent.
Yeah, for sure. So I just like Reader's Digest bio, grew up in Maryland, went to college in Florida, University of Tampa. After college, I got into property management. So I did that, managed apartments, managed single family homes. It was a lot of fun, but it was one of those things where I felt like I was working really, really hard, and it was like Groundhog Day, like,
yes.
Like every month, the first of the month rent is due, then it's late, then, it's just kind of a Groundhog Day cycle. So I didn't necessarily feel like fulfilled.
Right.
And I kind of, in working for other people, it's just like, I'm working really hard, but it's like, just kind of the same every day. So,
yeah.
I started kind of thinking about other things that I could do. Obviously, kind of being in the real estate realm, I dealt with real estate agents, and apartment locators and home locators and stuff like that. So I was like,
yeah,
I could do this. Like I could, make a better system. I could do this, and I think I could make this work. So I was like, all right, let me at least get my real estate license. So I did that. Basically in the end of 2015, early 2016, I got my license, did it part-time, and kind of started out, got my feet wet. And then I, decided to go full-time in 2017. I was like, you know what, like I can't just continue to kind of do this halfway.
Yes. And a lot of people try and do it half. I mean, and I won't go too far on my real estate rant, but it's too easy to get a real estate license, number one.
Yeah.
So, so many people do it. They get a license, and then, there's a very small percentage who actually dive into this full time because it's not easy. So, but go ahead. You go ahead.
So yeah, so I was like in 2017, I was like, you know what, like let's try it out. I put 6 months worth of savings in the bank, or like half of my bills, and basically told my husband, like, hey, here's 6 months of money for my half of the bills. Like, let's see if this works. But like, I have to try it, or like, I'll be disappointed, right? Like, let me at least try. Let me see what I can do. So did that. We joined Coldwell Banker because he was licensed as well, but he actually wasn't doing anything. He was licensed, but like had a full-time job. So he was like, all right, I support you. Like, if you want to give it 6 months, we can give it 6 months and see how it goes. So joined Coldwell Banker, went full-time. And that was in 2017. And then just like, honestly, absolutely loved it. Love problem solving. And helping people find a place to live is always a lot of fun. Helping people sell their home, and just kind of all the intricacies of both. So yeah.
So the property management. So were you doing like single family homes, or were you doing apartment like management?
I did both. So initially I started out in apartments. I moved to single family, and then from there got my license and started practicing real estate. Okay.
So Maryland, you said you grew up in Maryland.
I did.
Okay, where at in Maryland?
Frederick? Do you know Frederick?
Maryland? Yes, I'm from East Coast. I'm from Virginia. I'm actually born in Baltimore, but I grew up in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah. My sister-in-law went to Richmond for school.
Okay. So, the University of Richmond?
Yeah. The spiders, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the spiders.
Yes. That's cool. Very cool. So from Maryland, so what got you to Texas then?
So I was in the property management world. I was managing apartment communities. The company I work for basically like hired kids out of college. So that's kind of how I got into it, right? Okay. And you know, when you're young, you don't have much tying you down. Right. So it was a national company, right? And they would be like, hey, we've got a property in Birmingham, Alabama. I was like, all right, I'm there. So I moved to Birmingham, Alabama. Like, hey, we've got a property in Houston, Texas. I was like, hey, I know 2 people in Texas. One was in Dallas, one was in Houston. I was like, sure, I'll move. So I moved out here in April of 2011 and absolutely just fell in love with everything here. Houston is like one of the most amazing cities I'd say in the world, but in the country for sure.
I agree. Yeah. It's very interesting because we probably have, if not top 2 or 3, probably I would say top 2 as far as diversity in our city. Like it's insane. Maybe New York, you know, maybe they have maybe they're 1, but we're right there as far as our diversity. But that's pretty cool. So 2017 full time. So 2017, 2018, that first year, how was that for you? Because I'm assuming at that point you didn't have a team at that point. It was just you.
Correct. So as I said earlier, like my husband had his license as well. Yep. We were both doing real estate, but separately, like together, but separate. You know, so we each had our own clients. We really didn't help each other out at all, like other than like problem solving and stuff, but we didn't show each other's clients. You know, we were kind of both doing our own thing. And it was good. Like we both were doing well, but it was one of those things where we're like, in a long-term scale, like, okay, this is fine now, but like, you know, if you want to have kids, if you want to spend more time with your family, if you want to hang out with your friends, go on vacation, like, what are we going to do? Like, you know, how are we going to continue to like kind of scale our lives and our business? So in 2018, we decided to start a team. So at the end of the year, we kind of hired a business coach. We started a team. And 2019, we worked on like all the processes and hiring and stuff. And now this year we're focusing on, you know, growth and, you know, just continuing to scale. So
who did you hire? Who was your business coach?
So, then we were with Workman Success Systems with Viral Workman. So they do a ton in Houston, but they do a lot for teams. Right. And that was, I met Viral at an event, and the structure and kind of training that they had was kind of what we needed. And I mean, we still made lots of mistakes along the way, but you know, it's still one of those things that like, you know, I'd rather learn from someone else's mistakes and you know, flatten that timeline and stuff before.
And so now I saw you do some stuff with Tom Ferry as well, who's a huge coach. Now, I don't know if is that who you work with now? You just use some of his stuff.
Yeah, so we coach with Tom Ferry now. Yeah.
You do? Okay. Okay. Yeah, and so for people that may not know, I mean, Tom Ferry, depends on who you talk to. I mean, he might be considered the biggest coach in the country right now. I wouldn't doubt it that he is. So you have invested in that to kind of move you guys to the next level. So what I love about you guys, I mean, first of all, the fact that you're thinking long-term, because this business will eat you up easily. And most people don't think of it as a business, right? They just jump in. And for you to be already having that mentality a year or 2 into, you know, the full-time real estate portion of it is great, because it is not easy. And some people, all they want is just to handle it themselves. I think if you jump in with the mentality of running it like a business, you immediately start looking for, okay, how can I scale? Because you can't do everything yourself. This business will run you in the ground if you allow it to. So you guys started the team essentially what, I guess last year?
So we had our first team member join in like September of 2018.
Okay.
So yeah. And then kind of started figuring out other ways to scale and hire and all that last year in 2019.
Got it. And so now where you guys at as far as your team right now?
So right now, it's me, Ryan, my husband, and then we've got 2 buyer agents. We have transaction coordinator and then a marketing admin as well. Okay.
And so do you have an idea of where you want it to go when it's all said and done? And I know you're at Coldwell Banker at this point. So any chance that you may break off at some point? Is that something, or maybe you don't want to discuss that right now?
No, right? That's like, you know, my brother's watching and he's like, what are you talking about?
Hey, listen, we all know this is real estate. People move around all the time.
Oh yeah, I
understand your worker because I see what you're doing. I'm sure your broker doesn't want you to leave, but ultimately, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, we chose to partner with Coldwell Banker and affiliate with Coldwell Banker when we first kind of decided to go full time, because it was like, the brand recognition and international presence was something that was really important to us. I think that as far as growth, like my thing is maintaining the culture of our team and keeping it sustainable. I think that we're a little bit more hands-on than some other teams out there. Some are more just kind of a collaboration of people that work together, and that works for them. Ours is like, we know that we made a ton of mistakes along the way. So if we can help you to minimize your mistakes and work within our framework, like we know that you will be more successful than the average agent. Right. And that's something that's sometimes hard for people to swallow, because they're like, they think that they can do it the best. But like, there's things I know I'm not good at that I don't want to do. And that's the entire point of having a team and having people to do that. Right. So as far as growth, like, I think that as long as we are able to maintain the culture of our team, one, and then two, as far as sustainability, so that everyone can continue to make as much money as they need to make to support themselves, but then also like live the life that they want, right? Like, because just paying your bills is obviously great and necessary, but like after you do that, like, do you travel? What are your personal goals? So like, we really focus on that when we do business plans, right? Like, family, friends, fitness, fun, faith, like all of the whole picture. Cause like, it's great to say like, I want to sell 50 houses, but like, if you don't spend any other time doing anything else, then what does it even matter? But
absolutely. That's good. Now you mentioned, because one of the other things I know about you and your husband, you guys are huge into fitness. I pay attention, Katie. So I am as well. And so what does that do? Because, obviously since March, mid-March, we've all kind of been tied to the home. So this is a two-part question. First question is, what were you doing fitness-wise during that time? And then the second question is in reference to your business, like how have you guys been handling business? But I know it's probably the same for you guys. Like, fitness is such a huge part, especially in the business that we're in. Like, it's a stressful business, right? So I work out all the time, damn near every day, essentially. I'm in a CrossFit too. I know you guys were in CrossFit. So tell me what you were doing for that 2 months as far as your fitness goes. And then how are you guys handling the business side of things during this last 2 to 3 months now?
Yeah. So as far as fitness, basically, I mean, we've been working out at home, and we still are most days, honestly, because it's just been so convenient. So we have, a couple sets of dumbbells and kettlebells, jump ropes, and I mean, we've just been doing a ton of like body weight movements and stuff like that. But working out at home, has been super beneficial. Obviously, when all of the gyms were closed, and now just like being able to get out of bed and walk outside and start working out. There's no commute. There's like really no excuse, So And as you said, like it's an integral part of my day. It's something that like if I don't do it, I'm lethargic. I'm just all day long. So it's necessary. But as far as on the work side, basically when everything kind of started to come to light that this was truly a serious situation, that it was really going to impact everyone, whether or not it's significantly or you may know someone or whatever, like it was going to shut everything down. We're like, okay, what can we do? So we have a lot, we're fortunate to have a lot under contract at that time, so we're like, all right, we need to make sure that like the buyers are good. What can the lenders do? What are the title companies doing? Like, are we all still on track? And that was kind of our first, like, gut punch, like, all right, let's move on what we've got. And then just trying to stay as educated as possible and understand kind of what's going on and how it's been impacted, because, everything shut down and then real estate was deemed essential. So we were allowed to go out and do things, which in Texas, like, I give a huge shout out to the Tree Pack, Texas Realtors Pack, because in a lot of other states, like real estate just became essential in Pennsylvania within the past 2 weeks. And I'm like, I can't even imagine that. They weren't allowed to, if something was contracted basically after the end of March, they couldn't do anything with it. They couldn't do inspections. They couldn't do appraisals. They couldn't do anything to move those transactions along. And for some people, that was such a significant impact. So anyways, I could go down an entire rabbit hole there. So very thankful for TreePack and you know, the Houston Association of Realtors, you know, great relationships with, you know, the different lawmakers here in Houston. But once real estate became essential, we started realizing that we had a lot of clients that, you know, had, you know, birth, death, marriage, divorce, kids, you know, life changes that they had to move. You know, say their house was on the market and it was already sold, they had to move by a certain date. So we started to help those clients, you know, the kind of necessary moves. And then, you know, as time continued to move on, some of the people that were kind of sitting on the sidelines, we saw like, hey, I need to get my house on the market. Hey, I need to take a look. So, you know, we started doing a lot more virtual tours, a lot more Zoom consultations, and stuff like that. But it was just like a quick pivot when we realized that our consumers that we were talking to on a very regular basis were like, we've got to go now. So it's been a different shift for sure.
For sure.
But
yeah, I mean, I know unfortunately, I know a lot of realtors just, it was a shock for everybody. I mean, I think that first few weeks, I think everybody thought, okay, we'll go back to work next week. We'll go back to work next week. We'll go back to work next week. And it just kept going. But I know a lot of realtors, they were just on a self-induced really vacation, like they couldn't do anything. And it's like, no, we're first of all, you're right. We are essential. Everybody, real estate, mortgage, we're all essential. So it's just, we have to do things differently, obviously. So I love that you guys just didn't sit down and take a vacation, because I know a lot of realtors that did a ton, that were on vacation. Like they couldn't do anything, which is just not the case at all. Because I do talk to ones that are really productive, like you guys. A lot of other realtors that I know that really, and their business was still going. Just you know, different way, different mechanism to get there, but they were still doing it. So, so virtual tour wise, you guys were doing a lot of virtual tours. Now, were you using just camera, like I guess oh my gosh, FaceTime type stuff, or what were you guys doing on the virtual side?
So it depends on the client. We've done a lot of stuff. So, you know, some of it's that we go in and we video it and then we upload it to YouTube as an unlisted video and send them a link. Sometimes it's a Zoom meeting that we're recording and then, you know, they get a copy of that. Sometimes it's a Facebook Live video that it's just us that can see it. You know, we use some other like WhatsApp and other things like that to send videos, FaceTime as well. You know, we really liked the ability to be able to record things and then send it to them again. Cause it's like, you have a conversation and then like 20 minutes later, you're like, what did we talk about? Does this have this? Does this have that? So, yeah, I mean, we basically just, you know, Google Hangouts, we've used a lot more on the computer than the phone, but just kind of whatever you've got, we'll figure it out. You know, Zoom is generally our preferred, you know, method of you know, FaceTiming on the computer. I like how that FaceTiming is now a verb, but our form of digital communication. But yeah, I mean, it's basically like whatever you have and understand, like, let's go, we'll figure it out, we'll get it done, you know, and go. So
speaking of video, so I know you guys do, I see you all the time. And this is why I really love what y'all do, because I'm a video person too. It's still mind blowing to me that we've been talking about doing video in this business for years and the importance of it. So at what point, because I know you do a ton of videos, what point did you guys say, okay, we gotta, because you focus on it. This is not by accident, obviously, what you do. There is a strategy to what you're doing, because I see it. Why video for you guys? And I think some of it is kind of what you just said. You know, you record stuff, or sometimes you may forget, but I think it's an asset. People just, it blows my mind the number of realtors that still don't input video into the business. So for you guys, why, first of all, why video? And then kind of what's your, do you kind of have a strategy? Because I know you do the market update, for example, right? Something simple, but you do it consistently.
Yeah. So I think the entire reason for video, and this is something that like, I'm trying to see. So basically, like when you first start out in the business, and you used to be a real estate agent, so I think you know this.
Yes.
You seem to attract the people that like just want to run you around, or that you just don't get along with, or that, you know, you guys don't fit, you don't mesh. And like you're new, you have no money coming in, and you're like, all right, well, like I'm gonna work with you. And like, if your personalities don't mesh, and like not everyone's going to get along, and I get that, but like,
absolutely,
it's something that like, as you continue to grow in the business, you realize that like when you're working with people that like know, like, and trust you, and you're working with people that like you would go grab a beer with, or go running with, or go, grab a workout with, or whatever you do, right? A coffee, whatever.
Right.
Your business starts to grow from them too, right? Like they start referring you people like them who are like you, and that's cool. So, my thing is like, I've found throughout my life that like people either love me or hate me, and that's fine. But like by putting my personality and putting our personality as a team out there on social media and out there, like, it helps people to say like, oh, I would never work with them. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's 40,000 realtors in Houston. Like, I know that I can do an above average job, but like, if we're not the right fit, that's fine. I'd rather know that on the front end and be able to say, hey, I've got a guy for you. You guys would work together well, than like, try to push through a transaction that neither of us are going to be happy. And like, you might have your house at the end, but like, I want to be able to have a referral based business. So
it was miserable.
Yeah.
And I've been there too. I mean, I've dealt with people and I'm like, you know what, when this is over, we don't need to talk again. I don't need to talk to you. I cannot wait till this is over. Now, it's been very few of those transactions. I mean, but you know who they are, Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean that, and then just like our entire goal with what we do on social, and especially as you said, like with the market updates, is continuing to update people and put the facts out there. I think that it's so tough, especially this year, watching the news. I don't know what to believe. I try to Google it and try to fact check myself. And I'm seeing so many different stats and stories and videos and all of these things. So our goal is to like empower our clients with the appropriate information for them, right? Or with the facts, so that they can make a decision that's right for them, right? To say like, hey, homes are still selling. Homes are still going under contract. People are still listing their homes. Showings are up. Showings are down, whatever it may be. Because you turn on the news and it's like, just doom and gloom. And there's a reason for that, right? They need ratings. They want people to watch, like, but that's not necessarily what's happening, So it's our way to try to continue to educate our clients and put, the information out there to ensure that, they're making the right decisions for them financially and for their family.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on this whole know, like, and trust. So for realtors, even for me, like I'm all about video. And you're right. There are people that they're just going to judge you on your videos, which is great. And you and I have never met in person. So people understand. And I feel like I know you because I've watched your videos. Like I've watched it. And so even though I've not met you in person, like I already feel like I like it. Because I've watched so many of your videos. I've watched the funny stuff you guys do. And so you are so right about that, because this is exactly what consumers are doing. You put it out there. And one of the other things I love about you is that it doesn't have to be some huge production, because you'll do stuff in your car.
Yeah.
Right? People get so caught up on production, or it's got to be this, or especially realtors. No, it doesn't. Like I've seen you do it in your car. You just turn a camera on and you'll do a market update in your car.
Yeah.
So people overthink this, right? They just overthink this so much. But I love the fact that, like I said, you'll just go. You just turn the camera on and go. And you're comfortable now after doing it probably quite a few times now.
Once or twice,
Yeah. So I love that you guys don't. And you do have production stuff too, by the way. But, it doesn't always have to be some produced, video. It's just turn the camera on and talk.
Well, and that was honestly what was so hard. We had an entire plan for the year planned out for marketing and content and events, and COVID hits, and that completely flipped it around as far as our plan for the year. So we've been seeing a lot more car videos. We're just getting back out to do videos with our videographer and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. It's been really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the consistency, I think, is the most important thing, because most people, they'll do one video and not shoot another one for 6 months. Like even if it's not great, done is better than perfect. And you're making each time you do a video, and just continuing on. So
Yeah, and I know Tom Ferry talks a ton about video. All right, I know he hammers it
once or twice. Yeah,
yeah, I know he and I follow Tom. I watch a lot of his stuff, and I understand. I like Tom Ferry a lot, so I watch a lot of his content, and he's always telling realtors video, and people still don't do it, but whatever. So let's think about. So we're now first part of June. What do you think over this next few months? Because the reality is, even though March, April, May for you, for some people was still pretty steady, overall, it wasn't the same market. Like, things did slow down overall. My opinion is that this next 3 months, so June, July, August, even going into September, I want to get your thoughts on this because I think it's going to be insane. I really do, because people want to go out, and all those people that may have put things on hold, now it's time to, hey, we got to go. So what do you think over this next, three months or so? What's your opinion? And then, obviously going into the end of the year, I still think we're going to be unusually busy as we even get through to the end of the year, honestly, where things may slow down a little bit. I just think we're going to have a great rest of the year after. Even though some places are still on lockdown, and even for us in Houston, we're not at 100% capacity per se.
No, for sure.
Anything. So,
So my thoughts. I like April. I think in Houston, sales were down by like 20% year over year.
Yeah.
But like year to date, what's so crazy is Q1 was so strong that year to date, we're still ahead of 2019. Like I can't get over that fact.
Crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
So, I mean, showings now are up so significantly. In Texas, showings are up over 2019 numbers. So like the buyers are out in the market, but part of the problem is the inventory doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right. So are sellers comfortable to move? Because if they're not, and no more inventory comes on the market, like I don't know what will happen. Yeah. Right. So in some neighborhoods, it's like, I've been in it. Like you're out in Katy and there's a line of people waiting to go into a home, and it's like, they're like one comes out, the next realtor goes up, unlocks it. The next one goes up, and it's just, it's been kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, most, especially, and you could probably comment on interest rates better than I could, but interest rates are low. Yes. They generally should remain low through the end of the year because, they want us to spend money. And, basically a house, the sale of a house, especially if it's new construction, brings about $80,000 income to the economy, right? If they continue having us buy houses, that's something that they want us to do. So interest rates should remain low, to continue to spur the economy. And most of the major financial institutions think the second half of the year economically is going to be better than the first half, right? So all of the signs point to it being busy. All of the signs point to it being, us having low inventory, so not many houses, low interest rates, so the money's cheaper. So, I mean, obviously election years always get a little weird. So there might be a little bit of a pause in November, but I think December, it's just going to continue on, especially here where we don't have seasonality. We're not Chicago, we're not Boston, where it's like snow, right?
Yes.
So
very true.
Everything's pointing to it being busy. We're obviously staying as optimistic as possible and trying to, again, continue to ensure that we're kind of looking at all the different sources for stats. But it's looking like it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've had buyers that are bidding, and obviously it's hyper local, right? So one community versus another community, different parts of Houston is all going to be different. But I mean, I've had buyers bidding over asking price to get homes.
And sometimes still not even getting it,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and I've seen this multiple times. Now, issue comes, of course. I mean, a house has to appraise. I don't care what you pay for it or what you agree to. We've had some appraisal issues. We have, unfortunately.
That's an entirely another conversation we could talk for hours on.
But yeah, you are so right. I mean, it is. I mean, it's good and bad because the inventory is low. So buyers. But there's less inventory and there's so many more buyers that are out there. So, we're kind of maybe heading towards more of that seller's market, and sellers are going to be in a good position right now. If they've got a home that's in, they've taken care of, they're probably going to have multiple offers in a lot of situations. So I've had buyers doing that and just trying to get a home, they would just overbid. So We've got we've got June now. I'm already seeing my phone is blowing up. Not even for me, not just purchasing, but a lot of people are refinancing right now as well.
Yep.
And it's a great time to do it. As far as interest rates, yes, 10 years. This is the last time we've seen interest rates where we are right now.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's looking to buy, I mean, the opportunity to get in and have the maximum purchasing power, it is now. Or moving up, whatever it is you're trying to do, this is really a great time to do it. So, so I've got all your information up. So what is the best way for people to reach out to you guys? Instagram, I know you're heavy on Instagram, I know.
Yep. So social media, as far as social media goes, Instagram and Facebook, it's MoveMeToTX. So it'd be like facebook.com, MoveMeToTX. Yep. That's our handle. My contact info is scrolling across the bottom there. So that's my cell phone. Feel free to text me, call me, whatever. Email address. And then our website is MoveMeToTX.com as well. So yeah, I mean, any of the things work. And we'll help you out with whatever questions you may have or real estate needs. Yeah.
Yes, please reach out. Like I said, I enjoy watching you guys. I really do. I follow. I see all your videos. I'm heavy on Instagram too, so I'm always kind of tracking people and seeing what they're doing. So, yes, make sure you guys reach out to Katie. Go to her website, MoveMeToTX. MoveMeToTX. MoveMeTX.com. I want to get the. Yeah, there we go.
It's mirrored, so I'm like, I don't know which way. I don't know what to do that.
No, you're right on. So make sure you guys reach out to her. She is awesome. Go watch her videos too. You guys are you're funny too.
Glad someone thinks so. Glad someone thinks so.
It is good stuff. So I appreciate you, Katie. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll have to connect again soon. But I am excited for the summertime as well. It's gonna be a good few months. We're gonna have a real good run here, as I think everybody in the real estate industry is gonna be busy for the next few months. So, but yeah, we'll have to connect again. And I appreciate you again, guys. Make sure you go also subscribe. All right, please go subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Houston Business Podcast, and that is it. Thank you so much, Katie. You take care. All right.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right, guys.